was like almost two different games. Came out, early. First drive, I thought they came out with energy, and I thought, we had a 3-and-out, and then after that, hit a little rough patch till about halftime. Got it corrected at halftime, and that, second half they came out, they played well, they flew around, never fought, never gave in, fought to the end, everything that you want, to be honest with you. So we were pleased with that. Now there's definitely some stuff we got to clean up, and we will get that done. But at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to get it cleaned up with a W.
You talk about correcting the big plays. How did you do that? What did you do?
There was a couple communication things that we just got to get, cleaned up and just make sure everybody's on the same page schematically.
That was my question. What was sort of the message to the defense at halftime?
Keep on fighting, don't ever quit, keep on believing. We honestly felt that, as long as we could keep on fighting, that we honestly felt we could come back. So, we got that message across at halftime. They believed it, and they accomplished it. So,
what's the biggest takeaway from the defense?
That they got a lot of fight in them. We were very pleased with that. Sunday you come in and you saw a couple of the errors that we got to get cleaned up. You were a little frustrated with that, but the thing that you walk away of is being down 35-17 at halftime and coming out in the second half and playing as well as a team as I thought we did. I'm very excited about that.
Coach, have you ever been a part of a game like that, with a comeback like that, or with a game that was so one-sided, one half versus the other?
It was like this, seriously, like you guys said, it was like a tale. That was my first experience having that big of a deficit and coming back, especially against a really good opponent.
Talk about, I think they had 2 first downs in the second half. Kentucky did 50-something total yards of offense, ran 14 plays, something like that. That's weird. That's like.
I think there's a couple things. I think the first half we had 10 drives. In the second half, I think we had 5 or 6 drives. So, the offense did a fantastic job in the second half of keeping us off the field, which in turn let us get on the field and play with a lot of energy. And I think that, because what the offense did, it allowed us to do what we did, to be honest with you.
Coach, did anybody individually show you a little something that you may not have thought they had?
Honestly, they all did a great job. There was no one player that I questioned. In fact, they just all proved to me that they're fighters here, even more than I already knew.
Looking at Savannah State, what are we looking at there in terms of what kind of schemes and that sort of deal?
They're a spread football team as well.
Okay.
A couple different quarterbacks played. They're definitely going to have the spread run game like everybody does kind of right now, and throwing around the yard a little bit. So they do multiple things. They'll get a lot of different personnel groupings, a lot of different run game concepts, a lot of different passing game concepts. So they're very multiple as offense.
Business as usual.
Business as usual.
Back to that, Kentucky just having 14 offensive plays on a half. Do you remember, dominating like that before?
We did a great job of getting some turnovers, and then we did a great job of getting a couple 3-and-outs. And like I said, then the offense did a really great job of controlling the clock. So I think all that combined, makes it easier when you run 14 plays in a half than the 36 in the other. So, but it helped out for sure.
The big plays in the first half. You guys making mistakes, or they just kind of,
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit of both. We made some mistakes, and also that was a really good offense. They had some really skilled players. They were extremely fast on the edges with the receivers. I thought the running backs were probably as good as we're going to see. I thought the offensive line was, a very veteran offensive line, and the quarterback was a really good player. That was a very talented offensive football team. And I'm not going to take anything away from them because I thought they really were. I thought we just wind up playing a little harder in the second half.
A lot of people have talked about, you gear up for so long for a team like Kentucky, or a good opponent on the road and all that stuff, and you gear up for so long for that, and now you kind of turn to, an FCS team that hasn't had a ton of success. So, how do you avoid sort of play into your competition?
I think there's 2 things. I think one thing is I don't care if we're playing Kentucky or Savannah State, we're prepared just as hard. We're not gonna treat any team differently. We're gonna give every team the respect they deserve in preparation. That's number one. And number two, it's the first home game. So you gotta be excited. You gotta be jacked up to come home and after a big win. Hopefully we get a good crowd, to support a big win. So they gotta be excited to come out there and be excited about playing in front of the home team.